I'm making a couple of festive birthday cards using the Party Fans die from scrapbook.com. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. I have die cut all of my fans for both of my cards using the Party Fans dies from Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, 110 pound. I went a little bit lighter. I'm not using my normal mixed media cardstock. I am, however, using that for the backgrounds because that is a little bit thicker, and I like that for my card panels for sure. I'm going to start by doing my ink blending. I am doing Distress Oxide inks for all of my coloring. My first colors for these fans are Cracked Pistachio, Shaded Lilac, Saltwater Taffy, Twisted Citron, and Squeezed Lemonade. Now I do want to mention that this first card is influenced by Noreen Hope from the Velvet Lemon. I was really kind of struggling with ideas for these party fans. Like I just was drawing a blank. I've been wanting to use them. I've had them for a while and I just really could not come up with anything. And I think partly too, I was struggling really hard with the loss of my daughter. And so, you know, when you're going through stuff like that, your brain just does not, it cannot be creative. And I've been struggling really bad for a couple of weeks. And so it's just, cards have been difficult. So my whole point is saying it's, number one, it's okay if you struggle. So I went to Pinterest and just was kind of looking for like party fan ideas. I'm like, I just need something. I just need some idea to get my brain going. And so I saw her card, and so I'm following that layout pretty closely. And then my brain went to my next card, my second card, and then I was able to kind of pull that one together on my own. So it's really good to be inspired by people. I thought her card was beautiful. The way the layout was, she brought in some streamer dies, and I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be using a streamer stencil. So a lot of fun. These cards were such a great time to put together, and I'm glad that my brain finally was able to get creative. Here's that gorgeous Saltwater Taffy. I have totally forgot about this color, so I've been using it more lately because then I remembered it existed, and I don't know why I forgot, but such a pretty color. Then we have the Shaded Lilac. And I'm using foam blender tool, dome tools. I do like those a lot, especially if I need to get a good saturated color. I'm using the ones from scrapbook.com. So I was just trading out the little tips on my little handle pieces there. And I'm working on a silicone mat, and I'm able to just wipe that clean, which is really nice. And then when I'm doing the rest of my card, I can remove that mat out of the way and have a nice clean background. Okay, let's use the Squeezed Lemonade for the last one on this first card. And I was going a little bit darker in the center and then lighter towards the outside was basically my plan for all of these. For the second card, I am using Salvaged Patina, Wilted Violet, Picked Raspberry, and then I'm going to use the same Twisted Citron and Squeezed Lemonade. I really liked those colors together, and I really liked the Twisted Citron as part of this background. I just think it was really a lot of fun. And I was making sure, because I had so many colors of going on, so I was laying my little party fan dies on top of my inks to make sure because I had laid this out ahead of time. So I kind of knew where things were gonna go, and I wanted to make sure the right fans got the right color, so I was laying them out on top of my inks ahead of time. And it was very, very helpful because I felt a bit scatterbrained. Then we have our beautiful Picked Raspberry. I'm doing that on the largest one. I think it's so pretty. And it's a great like pop of color. So as you can see, I'm going dark in the center and lighter towards the outside. I love that these have embossed areas. Well, the whole thing's embossed from the die is what I'm trying to say. I love that it's embossed is my whole point. Then I used Honeybee Stamps Sweet Stacks circles, and I die cut 3 different sizes of circles, I think, or 4. These are going to be the centers of our party fans. So any kind of nesting circle die that you have, just pick some small ones. and die cut those out. And then I'm ink blending with Cracked Pistachio and Salvaged Patina. Then I die cut from Pretty Pink Posh some streamers from their streamer die. I think that's what it's, yeah, their streamer die. So I cut 2 of those and I'm ink blending that with my Salvaged Patina. That's going to go on my first card. I'm not going to use this for my second card. And I ended up only using 2 of these streamers, but I do like to die cut more than I need. Then I die cut some birthday candles from the Birthday Wish dies. And there's smaller candles and these taller candles, and I thought this would be perfect for our second card. And I'm going to ink blend these with Cracked Pistachio. And then the little flame itself, I will ink blend with, oh my gosh, fossilized amber. So let me pull those out. And all of these pieces were die cut from the mixed media cardstock from scrapbook.com because it's a little bit thicker. And then on those flames, I'm going to use a fossilized amber distress spritz. I'm going to spritz the flames and then I'm going to splatter the streamer dies. I definitely wanted to bring in a little bit of gold. And I also splattered all of those little circles that I die cut. I splattered those as well with the fossilized amber. And then I can set this aside to dry. Let's start with our second card's background. This is A2 sized. I am using the streamers die from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm using 2 of the stencils, not die, I'm sorry, streamers stencil, excuse me. And I'm just going to lay those across each other using the Cracked Pistachio, keeping it super simple on this white background. And I will splatter this background with that fossilized amber distress spritz. And I'm also going to splatter the other background as well. So I can set this aside to dry. I really wanted the backgrounds to have a small something, nothing crazy, because it's all about the party fans. So I didn't want to overdo. Then I'm using the diamond stitched stencil from scrapbook.com and Salvaged Patina. This came out really light. You can only see it in a couple areas. So really this is something you actually could probably just leave off of your card because once I got all the party fans on, you just really didn't see it. But I'm going to splatter that. You do notice the splatter. So you could just go with splatter and everything would be peachy keen. Now I'm going to add the centers to my party fans. I'm just adding my dot of liquid glue using my Pick Pro tool and just picking them up. So obviously the largest circle goes on the largest ones and so on and so forth. So remember those were die cut from like a infinity die of circles essentially, so you could pick any sizes that you want. That's what I used from Honeybee Stamps. They're Sweet Stack circles. And I do have everything listed and linked for you guys below in the description. And then something else I wanted to mention, I keep forgetting to mention it, is that I have my own like shop on scrapbook.com, and I do have that linked and listed for you guys, or linked for you guys in the description. If you guys want to head over and see my favorites in there, and I do try to update it often, but let me know if you see anything in there that you would like me to create a card with. Then I have the Birthday Wishes dies. I'm going to do 2 of the same dies for each card, and I die cut the shadow from white cardstock, from the mixed media cardstock white, and the sentiment from the mixed media cardstock black. And it says Birthday Wishes, and I love it's this big bold sentiment, and it looks great on both cards. So I'm just adding my glue. I'm kind of spelling out the letters or writing out the letters with the glue, and then adding down my sentiment pieces. And this goes pretty quickly. And then we will have all of our components for putting these cards together. And it really is super simple and easy, but I love these. I think they turned out so fun. They're very festive. They're very colorful, and it is definitely a party all the way. Okay, so I'm getting that last one down, putting that right in place. Okay, now on to our next step. Let's glue on the flames to our candles. I'm just going to use my Pick Pro tool and put those in place. Now let's put our card together. This is our first card. This is the one that was inspired by Noreen Hope from the Velvet Lemon. And I am using 1mm foam adhesive, and I think I also use 2mm foam adhesive, and maybe even 3mm. I'm using some scissors to cut those. Those are the platinum scissors, and they don't stick to your foam adhesive, which is really fantastic, especially for me because I use foam adhesive on almost everything. So it's really nice that they don't stick. That was a 2mm adhesive. And I'm just going to start laying these out. I will trim the excess off once I'm done getting everything put in place, but my little circle there kind of came off. And then we're also going to add something else to the center of these to finish those off. But I think these are so fun and so cute. And look at how great these colors go together. I was really happy with that. I needed to throw some purple in there for my daughter because she loves purple. So let me get a little more of that 2mm foam adhesive, sticking that to that bigger fan up there. And I love the layers, some are behind, some are on top of, and I just needed to move this one a little bit over. And then I'm going to place that other two kind of down there at the bottom. And I do like a little bit of that white space. It creates a separation between the two clusters of party fans that we've created on this background. And then that sentiment is also going to have some foam adhesive. That's where I use I believe the 3mm foam adhesive is behind the sentiment. So it is taller than everything else on the background. So let me do that. And then we also have the streamers, the birthday streamers. I had colored 4. I only end up using 2. I was trying to put a third one in there, but it felt a little too much to me. So I'm just going to do the 2, and I just think it's such a lovely addition. That is the main thing that stood out to me on Noreen's card that's like this, that she put these party streamers, and I was like, oh, that's genius, and I love how that looks. And so, you know, sometimes your brain, when it's just not putting things together, being able to see somebody else's something just really lets those creative juices start to flow, which was super, super helpful. Let's get this last one in place, and again, I'll trim that excess off of that. But how cute is that? I love it. I kept it with the Salvaged Patina. I really liked that, and that's my favorite color of the distress colors. So, and that's my favorite color in real life. So I just wanted to go with that. While that's drying, I'm going to use the white pops of color and add some dots to the centers of those fans, and then just lightly tap the back, and it really kind of levels out those dots. And if you have that little pointy part at the top, it smooths that out nicely. All right, let's work on our second card. This one has that streamer stencil on the background from Pretty Pink Posh. Again, using the foam adhesive, I'm going to put this fun pink one here that had picked raspberry on it. Some of my little centers were not all the way glued down because I was moving things around probably before I should have. So I need to get some of those guys back in place. It kind of scooched over and looked a little silly. Okay, let's start layering. I'm going to do this one on top. I'm going to need some foam adhesive, and I was trying to decide which foam adhesive I had. I'm going to use 2mm for this. I'm going to place that on top. I do still want to see white background. I want to see those streamers that we stenciled, but it doesn't need to be, it's definitely not the focal point. It's just part of this whole scenery that this fun festive party is going on, and I like that. I think that is a really fun look. Then we have our squeezed lemonade one we're going to place down here. And now these centers are the ones that we colored with cracked pistachio. And that's what we also stenciled those streamers on the background. So there was a little bit of matching, a little bit of coordinating as far as that goes. I love this layout. I think it looks great. And again, all the colors are fabulous. This one's a little bit brighter than the other one, and I think that's fun. Now we need to place those candles in the center. So we've got the 3 candles, and then the sentiment is going to go over that. And what I liked about using these really long candles is that they're going to stick out of the bottom and the top. And there's something about that that I personally liked. But in that die set, there is shorter candles if you did not want candles hanging out of the bottom. So I'm going to tilt the side ones out just a little bit, and then I'll add some 3mm foam adhesive behind the birthday wishes sentiment, and we can place that right over the center. And it's perfect having that largest party fan in the background because your sentiment fits inside, and it is a fantastic focal point where you have your sentiment and your candles, and you're still not covering up that whole fan. You still get to see a lot of it. For some reason my glue was clogging, so I had to get that in place. Oh no, I did not use 3mm. I am fibbing to you. I am so sorry. I just used liquid glue. I totally thought I used foam adhesive behind that, but that is untrue. Okay, let's finish this off with the pops of color. Both of these cards will be adhered to a white A2 size card base, but let's take a look at these up close and how fun they turned out. This is the one inspired by Noreen. I love it. I think it's so pretty. I want to use these party fans more like with some patterned paper or something. I think that'd be fun. And then this was my idea. I love how it turned out. So fun. These cards were a blast to make. I hope you enjoyed these 2 cards. I hope you guys have a really wonderful day. Thank you so very much for stopping by and watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.